Hello my Battlefield friends and fans, and welcome back to Battlefield Hardline. Yesterday the Betrayal DLC was released with 4 new maps. Let's start with the first map called Alcatraz. This is the map I was looking forward the most, as I have lived in San Francisco for many years and I have visited this place twice. Alcatraz Island is 1.25 miles offshore from San Francisco. The island is only 22 acres large, but was developed with facilities for a lighthouse, a military fortification, a military prison, and a federal prison. The federal prison was active from 1933 to 1963. So let's jump in. The first thing I noticed right away was I felt familiar here. I was on this island. When you actually arrive by boat here, you actually get to walk up the stairs, and you don't really get to walk through those ruins here because some of those parts are locked off, obviously for safety reasons and stuff. You actually get to walk up the stairs and you get to walk into the prison pretty much like so. And the more I saw of this prison, especially the inside, I was just realizing how amazing of a job they have done duplicating or replicating this prison and all the facilities. I mean, it's exactly what it looks like. It's exactly how I remember it, and it brings back so many memories. It has been a really long time since I've been to this prison, since I visited this prison. I don't even know. I think they're probably like 15 years or something like that. But this is exactly what it feels like, what it looks like. You can just see, how old it is, and the wear and tear on the walls and everywhere. This is exactly what it looks like. And actually they replicated the prison how it looks now, not what it looked like when it was in service, but actually when you visit it as a tourist and do the audio tour and you walk through, this is exactly what it looks like. Obviously you can't go to as many places as you can go in this game, and that's kind of like the cool thing in this game. You can literally go like everywhere, and you can even open and close the gates of each prison cell or all the prison cells at once, like on one row. This is something I always wanted to do, and obviously they show that to you when you do a tour, but you can't do that yourself. And the cool thing is you can almost go like in every single prison cell. And I still have to find that one famous prison cell where this famous escape happened from the movie The Escape with Clint Eastwood. I'm sure it's there. I'm sure they have. I'm sure there's a lot of Easter eggs in here too, and they probably will come out with time. And I have to say, I had somewhat big expectations in this map, but this map far exceeds my expectations. The details are just absolutely fantastic, amazing. I just can't get over it. And I'm not saying this is my favorite map of the DLC, but I definitely, I have to just say they did an amazing job. And if you have been to this prison, I'm sure you will agree with me. But if you personally have never been to Alcatraz, or this is the first time you hear about it, you barely heard about it, don't know anything about it, you probably look at this a little bit different than me. You just look at it as just like a fun map to play in. And this map definitely will remind you a lot of Locker. It's got the same like craziness to it. It also is crazy, like for example the Hardline map, the block, because even though it's a pretty big map, it doesn't seem so big because there are so many nooks and crannies, corners, and so many levels. You can literally like go up on the roof. You can run through all the gardens. You can run around the whole prison. You can even enjoy the view if you're up for that. So on the island there's the main cell house, the dining hall, the hospital, the library, the warden's house, building 64, a former military chapel, a social hall morgue, a new industries building model, industries building lighthouse, a powerhouse, and a water tower. And I believe you can basically see everything and run through everything in this map, which is pretty awesome. And you probably heard there are a lot of new guns that came out with this new DLC, like with every DLC, but I don't want to get into that quite yet, because what I want to do first is really have fun with those maps while not worrying about guns, getting used to new guns, but basically just enjoy the new maps. And once I know the maps in and out, I will actually start trying out the new guns, and I will then make some reviews, probably not about all the guns, but the guns that I really had fun with, just so you can see kind of like what my thinking is of it, if that interests you at all. But while watching this, I wanted to go back a little bit more to history of this island. So during the 29 years the prison was in use, it held some of the most notorious criminals in American history. For example, Al Capone, the Birdman, Machine Gun Kelly, Bumpy Johnson, the Doc Whitey and Creepy, and so many others. And coincidentally, you actually see them hang on the wall right here, which is kind of funny. But you can also see their mugshots right here. And on June 11, 1962, Frank Morris, John Englin, and Clarence Englin carried out one of the most intricate escapes ever devised, and they were never heard of again. And there's actually a movie called Escape from Alcatraz, which you can watch. It actually stars Clint Eastwood, and it's an amazing movie. If you haven't seen this movie yet, you should really see it. It's an old movie. It was done in 1979, but it's even as of today still an absolutely fantastic movie. If you haven't seen it, I highly suggest it, especially if you play this DLC, because you will look at this map in a whole different way. Trust me on this. On one of my 2 visits to this prison, I was actually lucky to meet one of the ex-prisoners, Jim Quillen. He's not one of the notorious ones, but he still was in this prison for many years. And he actually had his book that you could buy, and he actually signed it for me, and I read the book twice because it was that good. And I just found out that he died in 1998, so I'm really happy I was able to meet him, because he was a really nice fellow, and he actually turned his life around after he got out of prison and became a good man. But there are other book signings with ex-prisoners, and I believe some of them are still alive, even though, you know, they were all born in the 1920s, around that time. So if you've never been there, but you're planning to go see that prison someday soon, you may actually be lucky like me and actually meet one of the prisoners, ex-prisoners still alive. And maybe they also have a book or something that they can sign for you. You can shake their hands, talk to the prisoner, and just get that feeling of, you know, seeing someone that has been in one of the most famous or notorious prisons in the world. It is definitely an amazing experience, and if I should ever be able to go back, I will be absolutely happy to go back, maybe with a tourist, some friend that has never seen it, someone from overseas, and I just would like to show that person why I'm so interested in this prison. I've always been interested in prisons and prison history and what's going on in prisons, because it just seems so crazy that humans lock up other humans, and especially under sometimes crazy conditions. I mean, when you hear the stories and the stuff that happened in this prison, it just makes you like shake your head, and you just, there are things that you hear and read that you've never heard before, you never thought were possible. And not everything has been shown in movies yet, so there, you know, if you read a book from one of those prisons, you will like find out new things that will actually absolutely astonish you. So I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope to see you when we review the next map. Take care, bye bye.